Hey, Mountaineer fans. Hey, welcome to this edition of Mountaineer Legends pregame. You got Big Joe's coming to you live here from Southwest Florida at my granddaughter's house. I got granddaddy daycare going on, and on the screen with you is my co-host of this gig, Randy Cottle, coming to you from our Trilogy Innovation Studio right there in Morgantown, West Virginia. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing really good, brother. It's just coming off the high off this weekend, man. I mean,
It's tough.
we're going to get into it, baby. It's excitement here in Morgantown right now, for sure.
You know, and let's go back to that. I mean, I know as a football program, Rich has got his guys focused on Kansas and the Big 12 competition as we begin that this weekend over there in Kansas. You know, but we really got to go back and chop it up a little bit about that Pitt game. But before we do that, real quick, let's thank our sponsors.
Absolutely.
We got to thank Little General, Greg Darby and his team. We say week in and week out what a great family of people that is, providing services to a lot of communities across West Virginia. Support them because they support us. They give back to the kids. They do a lot in their community, scholarships and so forth. And you know, they're just good people to work for. I've been around a lot of different people that do that kind of job, and man, they really do honestly care. So support Little General stores in your community. Great place to stop. Get it wherever you need. That's why they call it convenient, right? Convenient.
Right.
Grab a sandwich, grab some fuel, grab a case of water, and head to your tailgate and get ready to go, right?
Yeah, you got to stop and get some ice, ice up all those coolers for when you're out there in the blue lot. Make sure you're getting some beers, some pepperoni rolls, whatever it is.
Hey, whatever you need, Little General is the place to get it.
Before you hit the hiking trails with your crew, make a quick stop at your local Little General convenience store. We've got the snacks, drinks, and gas to keep you going. Because every great hike starts with a little planning and a lot of snacks. We're proud to be part of your journey, rooted in West Virginia and built for the road ahead. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
And again, they give back. So it's important to keep that relationship. And of course, you guys, Randy at Trilogy Innovations, we couldn't do this without you and you know, your studio there, and of course you, because you are a true Mountaineer, homegrown right there in Elkins, West Virginia, and more importantly, 2 degrees from WVU, and then building your business right here in Morgantown.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're trying to do what we can to support and keep our nation safe. A lot of our contracts are federal contracts, and trying to do what we can to help give back. And then we try to do a lot in our community. We always say #TLC for Trilogy Loves Community. So whether that's giving back to the schools or helping to pull up the next generation, we give a lot to kids sports as well, because sports is a lot of foundational learning about how to work as a team and how to partner with somebody, and even whenever you face adversity, what to do when you face adversity, how to overcome things. So part of that is what we do to try to give back. And speaking of adversity, I know the Mountaineers, everybody was feeling pretty down after the Ohio loss, even though we knew that Ohio was a real team this year. And but I tell you what, we couldn't have bounced back any better than even whenever we were ahead in Pitt and then got down, we still kept fighting. And I think that's really a testament to this hard edge and to the new culture that West Virginia football is having this year.
Absolutely. Before we go, before we go further into that, I gotta bring this up because Trilogy and what you guys do. You've been the fastest growing tech company in the state of West Virginia now, going on 3 years, and that's fantastic. But I got to share this with you. When we did our last live broadcast there at Tropics in Morgantown, right there before the Pitt game, I had an opportunity to spend some time with one of your associates there, Bill McKenna, and he had just he's got a guy that you guys just recently hired. And one of the things that you were talking about is, keeping the best of the best here in the state. Yeah. Don't let them get away. Don't let them go nowhere else. And it's such a pairing with, Rich's message there in Morgantown here now is, we can't have a big turnover. And of course they just passed now. There's only going to be one portal opening each year. So that's a good thing. But the bottom line is you shouldn't want to get in a portal. Once you get to Morgantown and once you get into this program, I don't want to leave, man. I want to be part of this because not only are you going to be part of a winning program and a great tradition, but again, if your desire is to get to the NFL, this is a great stepping stone to get there. If you want to be a consensus All-American at WVU, you could do that. It's a big stage and it's a great facility. So the bottom line is you got to build a program, and that's what Rich is going to do on top of, brought in a whole new team basically this year. Some key players still staying, but, had to rebuild the whole thing. And, but that story about, keeping that young man here because he's a young, brilliant guy. All right.
Right. He is.
Hey, we don't want him going to work for the competition either.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's keep him here.
Keep them here. And that's what you guys, you shared that with me before is, you want to keep the best of the best. You don't want them to get out of here because they're going to help you grow your business. Right. And obviously it's going to make WVU a better football team over the years.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So
we're working, to try to create some of these programs to make sure that even if the kids, after they graduate, if they don't make it to the NFL, we're really pushing entrepreneurship. I actually saw Jaro at the game. He came back, because the varsity club can't say enough about KJ and what he's doing over there to reach out to these former players and bring those back. Right?
Listen to this. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This Pitt game had the most football alumni in attendance ever.
Ever?
Like 450 plus.
Oh my God.
From eras. I got goosebumps all over me. Can you see them in the screen? Look at the goosebumps.
Yeah, look at that.
There were guys from the 60s all the way up through the modern era of football coming back and being part of this great tradition. And, that says something about KJ and the varsity club and the rejuvenation of that, and getting guys excited and bringing guys back and getting them back into the fold and getting them back part of this thing, because you know what? We all matter. And I'll tell you what, we all matter to the tune of if our crowd doesn't hang. I say this a year ago, last week at the Pitt game, a year ago in the third quarter, when we started clicking a little bit on a couple of cylinders, we're misfiring a little bit. Half the stadium would have been out in the parking lot, but we didn't leave. Exactly. We didn't leave. The fans didn't leave. The former players didn't leave. The place was jamming. It rocked. And we came back into that fourth quarter. And don't you ever think for a second the fans don't matter, man. That noise, I haven't been, and I swear to you, I've been in a lot of football games in a lot of stadiums. I haven't been in an atmosphere like that in 20 years. That thing was just rocking. And in them final seconds of the quarter, when we're tied up 24-24, you don't think that final Pitt possession wasn't interfered with by the noise?
Absolutely.
You bet your ass it was.
Yeah.
Man, woo!
Yeah.
Woo! It was,
it was so loud. Yeah.
It was insane. Owen Schmidt grabbed me. We're down in that end zone, man, and it's just, we're going nuts. Yeah. Place is going nuts. And Owen grabbed me, broke me in half, man. That dude's strong as a bull. But the energy and the excitement, man, we go into overtime. And we don't go into. I really believe in my heart when on that final down, when that Pitt quarterback overthrew his wide receiver, and his wide receiver was right there, and he was wide open.
And
he was wide open.
Threw him terribly. Yeah.
And you know why? Because there was miscommunication. Because when you can't hear, it becomes a factor. It can't not be a factor. You know what I mean? I don't care how laser focused you are. When you're standing next to a jet engine, there's a distraction. All right.
Okay.
And then to score that final touchdown and beat those guys on our field. You know, there were so many clips on social media. There were so many interviews and such. You know, I know me personally, I was crying. I had tears.
Oh yeah.
It was such an emotional, but that's the way emotion is. The stronger the emotion, the greater the response to it. And it was just such an incredible moment for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't play. I wasn't playing.
And even Rich Rod, you know how much this means to him, but more the fact of being a West Virginian, because, you know, as soon as he said the word West Virginia, that's when the emotion, you could see it, right? So, because he knows how much it means to us, right?
Absolutely.
He knows, especially on a national level. So I think that, you know, it's just great to have that back and to see how much it means. And, you know, I know last week after we lost to Ohio, they were like, oh, well, now we're projected to lose every single game, right? Like, and that's why we do it. That's why we suit up every week and put a hat on a hat. Now, I know that, you know, Pitt's not going to be the same level of Utah. Now we're going to have to strap up and get ready to play when we get into this Big 12 schedule. And even Kansas has turned it around a lot in the past couple of years. But, you know, I think the mentality of it doesn't matter. We are in it to fight all the way to the end. And especially with Nico, you know, I remember watching his high school video where he came from behind and they were down by like 3 touchdowns in the fourth and brought him back and was able to tie it up with seconds to go, just like what he did in the Pitt game. And that's part of the reason why a lot of West Virginia fans like Nico, is because he has that grit, that never give up attitude, right? And I think that, you know, that's how West Virginians are. We're very blue collar, and I think that's why we associate with people like that. But I think that, you know, going into this week and the whole rest of the season, I like being the underdog. I like them counting us out, because that is when West Virginia plays its best football, period. Like every time it seems like when we get to a pinnacle and we're second in the nation and everybody's saying how good we are, that's whenever it seems like we've always basically crapped out. But anytime we're an underdog and it's like the number 3 team coming in here, we smack them in the mouth, right? So I like the fact that everybody counts us out, because I think that's going to make us play harder the whole rest of the season.
No, I agree with that. I'm gonna go back to the Nico. You know, I've been a Nico fan since he got here. I love him. He's a great competitor. And don't you think that we know about his resume and his ability to come back? You know, Rich made a great comment. And usually, you know, when you get taken out of a game as a player, you know, there's a letdown. There's a mental, you know, curve that drops you a little bit, you know, bummed out a little bit, you know, maybe go pout a little bit, maybe be a little upset about it. But, you know, Nico don't do that. Nico's a team player. Nico's energy actually was on the sideline. When you watch him, he's all up in there, and he never disengaged from that game for 1 second, because you know what? He knew that he was going to get called on. He knew that that's always the possibility that you will get called on to do that job. And when he did and come in and do what he did, I mean, that's just, you know, that shows that, you know, he's a great player, and I'm glad he's here and he's ready. But you know, you gotta have those other guys ready, because you were talking about when you're climbing the mountain and you get to that top 10, you know, once you get there, yeah, that's great. But you want to stay there. Let me tell you something. If you don't develop depth along the way. If you don't get guys
Yeah.
game experience, shame on you as a coach. If you put all your eggs in the first team and don't get no backups, no reps, then when it comes time, because that sprained ankle's coming. All right.
Yeah.
Fox sprained his ankle late in the game. When that,
Right.
we lost Jaheim White. He's out.
Right.
If you're not ready with a backup and you're not ready, then shame on you as a coach. So by getting guys, even just a couple of plays, maybe a series, couple of snaps, you're getting them in to that environment. And that is so important because, like you said, we stubbed our toe a little bit in the Ohio game. They were a damn good football team. And we just haven't evolved. Yeah, they did. Sure, they did. Of course they did. It was our home turf. It's a great, that was their pit game. Kind of thing, like our, so we knew
stands
that.
were completely full, right?
We knew that. Yeah. We knew that. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's like a surfer. You're waiting for that perfect set. And that one comes through and you miss it and you go, oh, daggone. But then that next one comes, and that's where we are right now. We are right now at the beginning of that wave. We jumped that wave and we caught it. We're on the board now. All right. We're on the board right now after that pit win. Now we got to ride that sucker all the way to the beach. Okay. And how do you do that? You got to work your fundamentals. You got to, be aggressive. You got to do all the things necessary to stay on that board. And that comes this week. As they say, the hangover's over. You enjoyed that great win. And it's tough, too, because anywhere you go, people are giving you the lip service. Man, you guys are great. Holy mackerel, can't blah, 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 blah. But the evolution of this team, the gelling, if you will, of the O-line and the D-line, especially the O-line, we saw great improvement in 1 week. Guess what? We will continue to see improvement every single day because that's the agenda. That's the mission of Rich Rodriguez and his staff. These guys, I can assure you, they enjoyed it. Saturday, I saw Rich. I saw something. He went out to Applebee's at like midnight, got a little snack. Right? Okay. Hey, everybody enjoyed it. I know I did, and I know all my brothers did. And you know what? But at the end of the day, that fast, it's in the past. I ought to write that down. That sounded pretty good. That fast, it's in the past.
That's
and
right.
if you live in the past, you can't move forward. It's holding you back. So now we got to take our steps forward. And we got to really build on what's going on, man. And it's exciting. I can't tell you how excited I am about it. But we're going on the road, and it might be a good thing, actually. Might be a good thing. Hey, real quick, though. Hey, before we talk about Kansas, I got to go back again, man. Just because it was just, and I know it's been beat. Everybody's been talking about it and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, for the experience, my brother came up from Texas, and I was with, a group, me, my buddy Scotty Sears, he's part of Fat Boys Media. And of course, my brother came up and Major, Brad Hunt, our little gang of guys, we were kind of moving in and out of them tailgates and visiting. And man, there ain't nothing like a Mountaineer tailgate at home. Nowhere. I'm telling you, man, it was unbelievable. But what was really cool is as we made our way through and we finally got to Trilogy over there with you guys.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? You guys had a stage set up. You got three bands going. I mean, holy mackerel. Was that a trip or what? Huh?
Oh, yeah. We were going all out for sure. And again, I got in line at what was it, like 5:30 in the morning to try to turn in, and we were all the way backed up to almost Kegler's to turn right into where the hospital was. So we got out, we walked in to get our spots, And it was just nuts. And then they finally started moving people up just to try to get in. They let them in at 6:15. They don't let people in until 7 o'clock. But the traffic was so bad, they let us in at 6:15 to open the gates because they're like, let's get this party started. And we try to do it big on our tailgates and everything. I made some of those pepperoni rolls passing out to people, and but yeah, it was definitely a good time. We partied all day long for sure.
That's
So,
and
yeah.
then right. Oh, the weather was beautiful, and the
Oh, and you couldn't
tailgate
have
was
asked for
fun,
better weather.
and the tailgate
Perfect.
was fun. Hey, but you know
Perfect.
what? Why do you go to a football game, Randy?
Yep.
Why do you go to a football game, Randy?
So for me, I asked three.
The W.
Oh,
That's a
the
W.
W. Yeah, yeah.
I look at the weather can be,
Go to win.
hey, it
Yeah.
could be raining and there could be nobody in the parking lot for a tailgate. And if we win,
Oh yeah.
I'm happy as punch.
Yeah. Oh
All
yeah.
right.
Exactly.
I don't care if the weather's beautiful and how good the tailgate is. If you lose, losing sucks.
Losing
Period.
sucks.
All right.
Yeah.
There ain't no excuses. There ain't no, you either play good enough to win or you play bad enough to lose. And you know what?
Yeah.
When you overcome adversity and you keep playing every single play, no matter what, good things will happen. And everybody
Yeah.
stayed in the game. Let me tell you something. After that game, Ed, and we sang Country Roads, I want you to know that's the first time that I've ever been in the stadium for
Oh
Country
really?
Roads singing. Yeah. Most of
Oh
the time
wow.
I was already heading to my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hate to say
Right.
it, but
Yeah.
when we sang Sweet Caroline,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that eat shit Pitt, they heard that in Pitt.
Oh,
They heard that in
oh
Pittsburgh.
yeah. Absolutely.
All right. That was so
That's
neat.
louder than that's louder than them singing Country Roads. I'm telling you. It is the loudest thing. It
was awesome.
reverberates off the hospital and bounces back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it was just so much fun. And of course, now we're not playing them for about 4 years now. We get to that's ours. We get that. We get that bragging right for a few years. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's it. All right. The Pitt game's over. And it's been over for our guys now all week long, and they're prepping for a pretty damn good Kansas team.
Oh
and
yeah.
When you look at Kansas, that Lance Leopold, I know they got a new offensive coordinator this year. And I looked at some of the stuff. Like I said, I've been doing this granddaddy daycare, and this granddaughter of mine is 3 years old, and she is just absolutely. I'm surprised she hadn't run by here three times.
Right. Yeah.
But so I haven't really looked a whole lot. I've watched a lot of Rich's stuff and what they're saying. Of course, ain't nobody gonna say anything negative about the opponent. You don't want to give them any kind of propaganda to use in the locker room pregame. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna say and you're gonna blow smoke at them, and make them sound like they're great. But when you think about it, I saw the one thing that Kansas is in a brand new stadium. Brand new stadium this year.
Yeah.
So the mentality of our house, if you were in the program, you've built this house. This is our house. I can tell you that, when I got to Morgantown in 1981, that was the second year for the brand new stadium. And those guys that were on this football team in 1980 and broke that stadium in, that's our house. That's our turf. That's our place. And you're not coming into my house and taking my sandwich out of my hand. So we really got to take this one. You think the emotional level as a player was high for the Pitt game. Now you got to take it. You got to take it to that same level now immediately against this Kansas team because they're fast, they're scary, they play well. They're 2-1 just like us. They've put a ton of points on the board. That first game I saw they had like 650 yards of offense. Now, granted, they were playing some school, with a, who knows? I never even heard of that school. I don't even know where it's at. So at the end of the day, who knows? But seriously, we've got to execute our game plan, and you know, as an offense, you know, I can only execute what I can execute. I guarantee you his playbook's this thick.
Oh
But
yeah,
when I go
guaranteed.
into this game, I got to go into this game with a focused, dialed back mentality where I have to execute what we call. Now, if I'm thinking and you got too much stuff going on, that puts a lot of people in a bind. So I want to keep it. I want to keep it where we can execute and do what we did, last week. With 23 first downs, running 90 offensive plays. Let's not turn the ball over and play some defense. And let me tell you, that Zach Alley, man, he's got that defense rocking. Woo! Defensive line of the week last week. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the makings, and like I said, now we're on that wave. We caught the wave. Now we're on it. Now we got to
That's
stay
surf.
on it. Now we got to stay on it. We got to stay on this thing right to the very end. And one game at a time mentality. So,
Well, and like you said with Kansas, they used to kind of be the doormat of the Big 12, as you know. They're like, we're a basketball school, but again, in the past few years, they've turned that around, and now they've been real contenders and just up and comers on this and getting better every year. So they can't be taken lightly anymore, and I guarantee that they're going to be ready for this game and want to play. And like you said. They're going to want to protect their house, right? And they probably saw what happened with us. So, like you said, right now we're on that high. Now's when we really need to buckle down and start building that momentum. So we definitely need a win this week, especially knowing that Utah is going to be coming in after that, and we're going to have to again lace up our bootstraps on that one. But we have to look at this week, making sure that we're doing the fundamentals, right? Doing our job, no stupid penalties. I mean, we play fast. Look, I think that poor UPMC probably still has pit players in their emergency room because they were falling down on every single play last week, right? Because
that's funny,
we're running them to death.
That's funny. I know Rich threw some jabs at that too, but
yeah.
No, that's a fact. I mean, that's a real fact. We've got to make sure that that we're getting after it, and that running 90 plays and being 100% in the red zone and doing those kinds of things offensively are critical. Absolutely, man. And the penalties. I think we only had like 6 penalties, which, we were averaging. I mean, we had like 17 penalties in the first 2 games. So, we cut that back. We didn't turn the ball over really,
Well, credit to the defense again. I mean, we did hold them 24 points. I mean, we held them to 3 points in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And then honestly, the only thing that really hurt us, I know Scotty had a couple interceptions there, but we gave it to him literally within the 20-yard line. If you don't have to go 80 yards to score a touchdown, you only have to go 20 yards. You're giving up points a lot easier that
Absolutely.
way. So, the defense, it's night and day difference between what it was last year. Our
Amen.
defense was terrible, right?
Amen.
So we're actually doing solid with the defense. And again, once we get everything clicking on offense, I think this could be a really good team. And again, build off that momentum to keep them going to next year. But we got to make sure that when we get the defense off the field, even though we play fast, that we need to stay on the field on offense and get those first downs and doing whatever we can to give them breathers. Move the chains, even if they get it down to the 20-yard line, and try to kick field goal or something. It's all about the possession and then which side of the field we're on. We can't give up stupid turnovers on our 25-yard line to put them back in the game. That's exactly what happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So.
But then having the guts
Yeah, the grit,
to dig down.
the hard edge, baby.
And it's a hard edge. And, you know, a hard edge, I don't know if you know anything about blacksmithing, but you don't make a hard edge in one day.
No,
It takes weeks of hard work and pounding and working and putting that blade. And then once you get the hard edge, you got to hone it down to a razor sharp edge. That takes a lot.
Exactly.
I mean, this don't happen overnight, you know, but again, what we saw, the difference in 1 week is the difference in each week that we will see. I really believe that. And, you know, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I say we go out there and bring this one back. I really do. I think we're gonna play lights out. I hope Preston's not too injured because he's so close. I want to see him run one back. I just love watching him play. And again, he's a local kid, you know, West Virginia kid. And you know, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. And I know, you know, the week before the Pitt game, I went up there and I had a chance to talk with the offensive line, and it was really an emotional experience. And you know, when you're able to you know, impose your will on somebody, that was always my game. I wasn't very good, I swear. Yeah, I watch film on me and I'm like, holy mackerel, you kidding me? But I tell you what I did.
You made it to the NFL, my friend.
Yeah. But I did that because I imposed my will. I came after you and I hit you with everything I had on every single play. Might not have been pretty. It might not have been great technique, but I tell you what, I was going to smash mouth your ass. I can promise you that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I saw that in our offensive line play. And then, of course, the heavy package that they put in and put the beef in there and just start moving people.
He said 3,000 pounds of beef.
Hell yeah. And don't you think they've got some wrinkles off of that you know, we know we're going to run right here, and all of a sudden the quarterback's going to run over there in the end zone all by himself untouched.
Oh, yeah.
So there's wrinkles that go with that package, and that might just not be a short line goal line package. That could evolve into something else, you know. Who knows? Because again, if I'm trying to grind clock, I want to stay on the ground. I'm throwing the ball over the place. You know, that clock stays lit for a long time. I want to grind that clock. I want to use that clock. And I think that's the thing that Rich brings is all of his experience. He understands how to use the clock, and clock management becomes so critical in these games, especially close games that go down to the wire. If you slip up and lose 2 or 3 seconds, I mean, 2 or 3 seconds is enough to run a play. So,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So his ability to manage the clock and all the guys he has around him that understand that, you know, really makes for a bit of a chemistry. You know what I mean? That kind of knowledge. So yeah, man. Hey, let's get this show on the road. That's what I say, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head out there and be in a hostile environment, and you know, again, we can't let that quarterback sit back there and do what he does. He likes to throw it. You know, they're not they're a running team ish, you know, but I don't even think they had 100 yards rushing last week. I think they throw it, you know, 300 plus. And so it's going to come down to defensively, you know, putting pressure on him. I know, you know, we had a number of sacks. We're getting to the quarterback. We're making him run around, you know, but once you get up to the quarterback and you make him run around, your shell out there better be doing what they're supposed to be doing. You can't come off coverage or this guy's going to wreck you. So we've got to be able to corral him and contain him and stay in coverage. Don't let those guys get behind you kind of thing. And like Aaron Beasley always talks about, Tally always talks about, you know, up there on the line of scrimmage, you got to jack them a little bit. You got to knock them off their route and bust the timing up. A lot of these routes are timed, especially the RPOs, they happen so fast. You know, you're not gonna get to the quarterback in 2.5 seconds. However, if I jam that guy on the line or if I knock him off his pass route, now all of a sudden that builds into a 4-second situation. Now we've got a chance to get to him and do some things and disrupt him. And of course, I always say the best defense is a great offense. So putting those, like you said, putting those drives together, keeping those guys off the field, and you know, using the clock, it sets it up. You know, Nico's got to have a great game. You know, it was nice to see. You know, I know we lost our starting running back and we lost a big time wide receiver with that Grayson kid. You know, but you know what? I saw Gallagher step up. I saw
Oh
Fox
yeah,
step up.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, I saw, that running back, Ty.
Yeah, Ty
Ooh,
Edwards. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah, I do
I'd
too.
like to
Yeah.
block for him. He's a tough
So
runner.
I was in the end zone whenever he ran right up the middle. I was right there under the goalpost whenever he came through. That was awesome. That was like right up in the grill. I was next to Major. Major was right there.
Yeah,
We were down there, and he just ran right towards us. It was like, yes,
it's pretty
that was our
awesome.
first touchdown. So yeah, it was amazing.
It's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. I know that I mean just that whole thing was fun. But hey,
yeah, yeah,
would be a lot more fun.
yeah.
We got there
Another W.
another W, another
Yeah,
W.
yeah.
We had goal boards in the locker room, and each week there was a set of goals, and of course the most important goal is the winner or the loss.
Right.
That you
Right.
could take all that other stuff. And it
Yeah.
matters. Trust me, it matters.
Oh,
Analytics
yeah.
matter. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But that W, when you see the W up on top of that goal board, that's what it's all about. And you know what? You can go back through and look at the telltale. There's always a telltale in the tape, right? You look at it, and there's always a message in the statistics and what you did and how many first downs and how many sacks. All that stuff does matter indeed. Probably the most important one that matters is the turnover board, the margin.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
you know, am I mistaken in saying we were -1?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
I think
minus
that,
one.
yeah.
So by the odds,
Right. We should have
you're
lost
really
that.
not supposed to win that game. All right.
No, we weren't.
But that's what that tells you something about the character of this football team as a young football team. These
Right.
guys they're all freshmen in the program. This is a
Yeah,
brand
yeah.
new program. So
Yeah.
they're all really freshmen in this program. So when you
Right.
think about that, what they were able to overcome, all right, it matters. It shows something about that football team. And but those stats, yeah, they all matter. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way to win. You got to find a way to win, and that's what we did. And what that does is it educates you. It tells you right now, hey, we've got the ability, we've got the capability, and now we just got to believe, and we got to believe, and we got to believe, and we got to trust the system, and we got to believe in what we're doing right to the very end because hey, it only takes 1 second to score, one play to score.
That's right.
All right, that
One play.
changes the game. One play. You're
Well,
one
it's
play
like
away.
you said, Nealon said, there's pivotal moments in the game. Are you up for it? Right? There's those key moments in every single game that literally makes or breaks you.
Well, there's
So,
about, I swear, when you look at it, there's about 5 plays in every game that determine the outcome because it changes momentum, it changes possession, it changes the emotional level of the game, but you never know when they're coming, so you got to be on your guard, playing tough every single football play. Period. End of sentence. And I'm sure Rich preaches the same kind of thing because Rich came out of the Don Nealon program, and that's a foundation for him. But we got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball. That's for daggone sure. That football is a program. It's the only game played where only a couple people get to touch the football. Most of us are the support cast that have to move that ball across the line or stop it from getting across the line. And man, that's fun. That's a great thing. And I'm excited for these guys. I hope they have a great week of practice, which I'm sure they're probably getting. If they're not on, did they leave yet? I mean, we're doing this tape now Friday morning.
Yeah,
they're already out there.
Yeah.
They went out there yesterday. So I wish them all the love. I'm gonna be watching it down here in Florida, and buddy, I'm gonna be screaming, wearing my WV, and let's go Mountaineers. Let's take care of business, man. Let's take care of business. It's a business trip. It's a business trip, and I think these guys got a big taste of what could be yet to come if they do and continue to do what they're supposed to do. Period.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I think that again, if we can take care of business, get the W. I don't know if you saw, they've already announced the time for the next home game. They're doing throwback uniforms, and it's going to be at 3:30 that following Saturday. So Really looking forward to doing that. But like you said, first let's get that W this weekend.
You know, that's the only thing that matters. I swear, man, it truly is. I mean, when because again, the loss, yeah, you learn from it, and but the losing sucks, man. I mean, I was brought up that way. It does. It sucks. It sucks. The food tastes lousier. The weather looks gloomer, or gloomier. I guess gloomier. I don't.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Let's
Again, we rode that high. I remember losing before. Anytime the Mountaineers would lose, how down I'd feel and everything. But it was nice to have that high again.
And that's it. But that's it. Okay, that's it. That's the addiction. Is once you get that, and once you look at what you had to do to get that,
right
now it becomes, I gotta have it.
I gotta have it. Yeah.
I gotta have it. Okay, so it is truly now the opportunity for the coaching staff to say, hey, man, what we're doing works. You believe in it, and you execute, and you bring your emotion to it, and you play with emotion, and this works. And once you get that sold, man, now it starts to really come together for you and really begin to click. But you know what, man? It's a long season. There ain't no easy game from now on. There's a challenge each and every week coming up, and they're all damn good football teams. So hey, one at a time. We're on the road in Kansas. Check it out tomorrow. It's on FS1. I'm looking forward to it. I know you are. We're all going to be watching our fellas and our guys, our Mountaineers, man. But hey, what a great week for all of us. And let's keep it going. Like I said, we're right on the crest of that wave now. Now we got to ride it. We can't get knocked off. We gotta stay on that board as long as we can, and it's exciting. And I've said that several times already this episode. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and it is the fact that, again, got to thank Little General for letting us do this, and Trilogy Innovations. You guys are special, and of course it's brought to you by Fat Boys Media. And
I was going to say Scott Sears from Fat Boys Media.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, something, Randy? I tell you, it's fun to talk about this Mountaineer football with such an enthusiasm. Feels good. We've been doing this show now for this is our 4th year doing it. 2nd year working with you and Trilogy Studios, and it's just got, like you said earlier, man, it's just such a different feel. It's such a when you watch Rich, and you see his emotion, and you see his passion, and his love for the state, and his love for WVU, and that WV logo that we all wear, that brand. When you see that, that's real, man. This is not. We're not making this up. We're not putting on some show. We're not acting. This is so freaking real that it's palpable. I mean, he's just, and again, I've said, and I will continue to say it, the second chance and the redemption. Well, he got his redemption. Redemption's over. We redeemed. Now the redemption also comes from, continue. I'm here.
That national championship level.
Get us back. For us, I mean, are we ever really going to play for a national championship in Morgantown? I don't know, but I really doubt it. However, can we be perennial top 15? Betcha. Can we make the playoffs? Betcha. Can we win the Big 12 championship? Betcha. Okay. National title. Yeah, that's always the ultimate goal, but we got to be real too. The resources and such. I just saw them unveil a massive renovation to the stadium getting ready to take place. So we're doing it. We're making every effort to be that national prominence. and we will. We'll be in the top 15 with Rich and company at the helm.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting time for all of us. And I'm just anxious to see. I'm anxious to see what we do this week. My prediction's always going to be a victory.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard optimist. But when you see the progression, especially again from week to week, and especially from the Ohio game to the Pitt game, man, now we got to take the next step, and that's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting.
It's funny you said prediction, and during our live podcast at Tropics, I think I said it was going to be 38-31. Mountaineers win by 7. I was close. It was 31-24. But we still beat it by 7 points, and it's
Remember
crazy.
this. The proof is in performance, not prediction.
Yeah, exactly.
We can all predict all we want. And at the end of the day, all those predictions don't mean squat. All right.
Nope.
There's a 50-50 chance it's going to rain today. All right. You know what I mean? Predictions are we can do that, and we can analytically look at it and predict and do all that crap. But at the end of the day, it's about the performance. It's about breathing life and executing those plays with that great passion and playing as a team and believing in each other and continue to build on that becomes critical. The play works only if the players breathe life into it and execute and make it work. So I think we're going to get that done. I hope we're going to get that done. I pray we're going to get that done because I like this feeling.
Yes, I know.
Right? Huh? Makes it better.
We'll run it into next week's podcast. So
hey, next week we're going to have a bunch of guys on talking about that first game. And I appreciate you, working with me this morning. I'm kind of lucky. I haven't seen my granddaughter run around. I must got her occupied.
Yeah.
Hey, all good stuff. Randy, I appreciate you, brother. And, we appreciate Little General Stores for what they do in supporting Mountaineer Legends pregame. And I love you, man. I appreciate you. We're going to talk about this game next week. And of course, then we're going into the Utah game. We've got a big week that week. The Hall of Fame induction weekend. Some big names going into the Hall of Fame there at WVU. And of course, the weekend after, we'll be coming to you live from our Myrtle Beach family down there at the Sundown for that big game. Looking forward to that. And, hey, we got a lot coming to you this year on Mountaineer Legends pregame, and look forward to spending time with you. Hey, I say thank you, Little General. Thank you, Trilogy. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Fat
I
Boys
love you,
Media.
man. Thank you, Fat Boys Media. And most importantly, hey, thank you, Mountaineer Football. Thank you, Rich Rodriguez, for bringing this thing back to life. And let's go Mountaineers.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do at Little General Stores. From trail snacks to cold drinks and the fuel to keep you rolling, we've got everything you need before you head into the hills. We're proud to be part of your ride, rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores, fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.